Hello and welcome to Scalinos Field on the campus of Cal Poly Pomona. So glad you have joined us on InlandValleyBaseball.com. Dave Silvera, as always, on the play-by-play as we are working our way towards opening pitch of the fourth game of the series between the Buccaneers and Pirates. Well, that'll be the fourth game in the SECBL series, seventh game overall. Of course, the Pirates winning all six previous matchups. They are 6-0 against these Buccaneers, and would love nothing more than to make it 7-0 here today. Lucky number 7. Meanwhile, the Buccaneers are trying to get one against the Pirates. It's really tough to see the same team 7 times, and especially to come up short the first 6. Buccaneers have a little bit of passion here today and a lot more energy after having a really tough loss on last Tuesday against the Rounders. They rebounded nicely. They lost to the Pirates on Thursday, but played a lot better against them in that 4-1 loss. And then they swept a doubleheader on Saturday, which was a very important day for them, before losing on Sunday to a very good top speed team from the Bay Area. Meanwhile, the Pirates, they sit in first place of the league. They're 17-4 overall, 8-3 in league play. So a game up on Palm Springs, that's 5-2. Meanwhile, the Buccaneers come in 5-15. And 2-9, so it would take at least winning all 5 final league games for the Buccaneers and maybe an act of God for them to make the playoffs. Meanwhile, the Pirates right in the mix with the number 1 seed. We figure to see the Pirates in power fighting for that number 1 seed. The Pirates, though, they've posted the 8-3 record in 11 games. Meanwhile, the Power have only played 7 games, and they have a lot of league games coming up. 3 against San Diego, a couple against the Bucs, and all 4 against the Heat. So they still have a lot of games to be played. We're just about getting set for opening pitches, as we just mentioned. Just in case you're wondering, the Pirates will be the away team today, and the Buccaneers will be the home team. So it'll be the men in red batting first, and the men in white taking the field, of course. As always, the Buccaneers wearing their white cutoff shirts, white pants, black undershirts, black caps. Meanwhile, the Pirates, as we mentioned, the men in red, they have their red shirts, red hats, and white pants as they are in a huddle down the first base line, just about getting set here. And in comes the starting pitcher for the Inland Valley Buccaneers, and that will be Gerardo Ramirez. Gerardo Ramirez is 5'10", 210. Hometown Diamond Bar, goes to Diamond Bar High School, where he'll be a senior this coming year. For them, he made 12 appearances, 11 games started, 2.80 ERA, 9-2 record, 5 complete games, so he can go a long way, of course, in the high school level. You only go 7 innings, but that's still very impressive to have 5 complete games as a junior in high school. Also had 64 strikeouts in 65 innings, so nearly a strikeout per inning pitched. This is the defensive alignment for the Inland Valley Buccaneers, going left to right across the outfield. It's Ryan Lachwayo and Rabito going left to right across the infield. We've got Brooks, Riley, Casares, Spawn. Behind the plate is Juarez, and as we mentioned, Gerardo Ramirez is on the hill. Meanwhile, for the Pirates, this is what their starting lineup and batting order looks like. Leading off at short is Fernando Escobar. Batting second at second base, Channing Varela. Batting third, the first baseman, Andrew Alvarez. The cleanup hitter will be the designated hitter, A.J. David. Batting fifth is Nathan Virgin in center field. The catcher, Christian Kelly, batting sixth. Anthony Virgin, the third baseman, batting seventh. Michael Johnson, the right fielder, is batting eighth. And last but not least, Matthew Reynoso, he is batting ninth in left field. Just about set for the first pitch. Here is Ramirez versus Escobar, and we are underway. Called a strike at the knees, and it's 0-1 to Fernando Escobar, the 5'10", 165-pound left-handed hitter from San Francisco State, one of 4 Gators on this Pirate team. He takes low, and it's 1-1. Well, Gerardo Ramirez this season, 19 innings pitched, 14 strikeouts, a 1-1 record, 4.74 ERA. So a lot of ones right now, 1-1 the count, and number 1 at the plate. The 1-1 offering high and away for ball 2, and it's 2-1. We mentioned this is just a big game for the Pirates to just get another win on their tally and make it perhaps 9-3 in league play, heading into a doubleheader coming up on Wednesday. That will be on our air. Another pitch high and away for ball 3. So it's 3-1. Hitter's pitch to come to Escobar. After Ramirez threw a first pitch strike, throws 3 balls and away, all in the same location, high and away. 3-1 offering, swung on, high fly ball, lifted to shallow left field, charging in and making the grab out there is Miles Ryan for the first out of the day. So Escobar is retired, and Channing Varela will dig in and take his first at bat. Varela, 5'9", 170 from Riverside City College. He'll be a sophomore there next season. Hometown Chino, and went to Chino High School. On deck is Andrew Alvarez, who's already set a record for most hits in a season. Of course, this is only the second season for the Pirates, but he already has 27 hits, which by far eclipsed the most number of hits last season. We still have a couple weeks to go. Breaking pitch misses inside for a ball from Ramirez. Channing Varela is batting .208 on the season here in the SCCBL. Swings at this pitch as a fastball over to Bryce Brooks, the third baseman, and he fires across the diamond for the second out of the inning. So 2 up and 2 down here for Gerardo Ramirez as Andrew Alvarez steps up to the plate. And Andrew Alvarez certainly has been raking, to say the least. I mentioned the most hits in a season for the Pirates so far already with 27 hits. He has a .429 batting average. And here's the first pitch to him. Fastball in at the knees, called strike 1, and 0-1 the count. 10 runs scored, 4 RBIs this season for the Pirates. On deck, A.J. David. Should Andrew Alvarez get on base. This one's at the knees, called strike 2. And so Alvarez will have to protect the plate with a 2-strike count going against Gerardo Ramirez. Working out of the windup, here's the pitch. Fastball misses outside for a ball. Very good eye at the plate for Andrew Alvarez. It's number 19 against number 19 here. And really, when you look at it and think about it, Ramirez is basically trying to emulate Andrew Alvarez, as this one just misses off the plate for another ball. And I believe one of the other ones was actually called a ball, so I believe it's 3-1. Because the umpire just only showed 1 strike on his finger. Swung on, line drive to deep left field. Back goes Ryan. That is to the track and to the wall, and it hits off the fence. So that is going to be a stand-up double for Andrew Alvarez, who was just maybe a few inches away from taking that one out of the park. And Andrew Alvarez has been on some kind of tear as of late. He had a couple extra base hits against San Diego, a double and a triple. Now he doubles off the wall in a park that we have seen very, very few home runs hit. We've only seen 2 home runs hit here this season. One was by Nolan Henley, a leadoff hitter for the Pirates. The other one was hit against the Buccaneers just yesterday by the cleanup hitter on top speed. Here comes A.J. David, and he takes low for strike 1, off-speed pitch to David. David hitting .270, .372 on base percentage so far this season. He committed to Cal Baptist, where he will play as a junior next season. Ramirez checks the runner at second, and this one's low in the dirt, and it's a 1-1 to A.J. David. Well, A.J. David was a first-team All-American in Southern California at the junior collegiate level, because he hit .327 this past season, .386 as a freshman. He signed that scholarship with Cal Baptist even before he played his sophomore year. Swings and misses at this one, though, and it's 1-2. David, 6'2", 200-pound left-handed hitter going against the right-handed hurler, Gerardo Ramirez, who is now working out at the stretch, obviously for the first time today, with his first runner on base in the form of Andrew Alvarez. Fastball swung and lined over to the right side. The second baseman, Casares, has it under control, and that'll do it for this inning on the 4-3 put out right there. So Andrew Alvarez has a noisy double, but Gerardo Ramirez gets out of the inning unscathed. 1 hit, no errors, no runs, and it's a scoreless game after 1/2 inning from Cal Poly Pomona. And welcome back as we head to the bottom of the first inning. No score between the Pirates and Buccaneers playing at Scalinos Field on the campus of Cal Poly Pomona. Dave Soberi on the play-by-play. So glad you have joined us for this league matchup. The Buccaneers are the home team in this game. Pirates the road team, so that is why the Bucs are at bat here in the bottom of the first. This is what their lineup looks like. It's Ryan in left field, Lashuayo in center, Riley in short, Juarez the catcher is the cleanup hitter. And the first pitch from Ryan Romero comes. Fastball called strike 1. 0-1 the count to Miles Ryan. Cassar is the number 5 hitter. Brooks 6 hitter. Spawn, Rapito, and Thibodeau is the number 9 hitter. Breaking pitch on the outside corner called strike 2 when it's 0-2. Miles Ryan hitting .295 with 5 RBIs and 2 runs on the season. Ryan Romero shakes off his catcher's sign. That is Christian Kelly, who sits up on the outside corner. Fastball high for ball 1, 1-2 the count. Here's the defensive arrangement for the Pirates. Going left to right across the outfield is Reynoso. That's Matthew Reynoso. And Nathan Virgin in center and Michael Johnson in right. Swung on, and this one is fouled down the first base line. So remain 1-2 here to Miles Ryan. Going left to right across the infield, we've got Anthony Virgin, Escobar, Varela, Alvarez, and the catcher, of course, Christian Kelly. Ryan Romero comes in tossing 16 2/3 innings this season. Fastball high, ball 2, and it's 2-2. 1-0 record, 0.54 ERA, and a 0.54 whip. Also has 8 strikeouts. Here's a 2-2. Swan and lined into left center field for a base hit by Miles Ryan. So the very first Buccaneers hitter reaches base with a hit. And Ryan has been on fire a bit lately, and actually the entire Bucs lineup has really been starting to see the ball a lot better over the last week or week and a half of the season. And you look at the first few guys in the lineup, and these are the guys who have been seeing it the best. Miles Ryan, Mbusi Lashuayo, and Kevin Riley. Kevin Riley up for actually Player of the Week nominations after going 12 for 23 this past week. We'll see if people will vote for him. He's on deck right now. Lashuayo is at the plate. He's batting .281. .410 on base percentage. We have a couple pickoff throws over to first, but to no avail. In fact, Miles Ryan just staying up on his feet, not even sliding into the bag. Lashuayo bunting one down the first base line. Kelly calls off Romero and fires down to first to get the out, but the sacrifice was recorded. And Lashuayo looks like he may have pulled his hamstring. He's holding his hamstring down the first base line, which would be very, very tough for both him and the Bucs because he's had a lot of production over the last week or two. Some of the Pirates coaches, including Charlie Reynoso and Vic Espinosa, are checking Lashuayo as he walks back into the third base dugout. Now here comes Kevin Bowler, the manager of the Buccaneers, to check out number 12. And hopefully he's okay, and hopefully he'll stay in the game because that's a major loss for the Buccaneers for a guy who is so good. I mean, contact-wise at the plate, very good plate discipline. We mentioned the .410 on base percentage. Also, a very speedy outfielder, can get to a lot of balls that most outfielders wouldn't be able to field. Here's Kevin Riley, 12 for his last 23. Takes low, ball 1, 1-0 the count. Miles Ryan is in scoring position at second base after that sacrifice bunt by Lashuayo. Riley hitting .357 with a .438 on base percentage. Here's the pitch, and this one misses upstairs for ball 2, 2-0 the count. Ryan Romero is 6'5", 190, right-handed pitcher from San Francisco State, where he'll be a senior next year. This past season, pitched 51 innings for them, so it was a regular for them. He checks the runner at second, fires home, and it's a breaking pitch that misses low, and it's 3-0. One of the few guys on the Inland Valley Pirates, who's not from the Southern California area. Ryan Romero is from Nampa, Idaho, went to Columbia High School, and was the 4A Southern Idaho Conference Player of the Year back in his senior year of high school. This pitch is on the outside corner, called a strike. Before going to San Francisco State, Ryan Romero enjoyed a state championship run in the junior collegiate level at Fullerton College. That year, Fullerton finished the runner-up. This one swung, a line drive down the right field line. Charging is Johnson, and he lays out for it, but he can't get to it. So another hit for Kevin Riley, who is now 13 for his last 25. Wow, what a number for him, as Miles Ryan could only reach third base on the hit down the right field line because he was holding up a bit at second base in case Johnson did make the nice catch out there in right field. But all of a sudden, just like this, there's runners on the corners, one out, and Charlie Reynoso already coming out for a conference with Ryan Romero, and Johnny Juarez at the plate. And Johnny Juarez is another guy who's been on a tear as of late for the Buccaneers. The first game of the doubleheader on Saturday, he had 2 doubles, a couple RBIs, a couple runs scored, and just 3 at-bats. He's also walked a lot, too. Being a catcher, he really knows the strike zone well and can decipher whether or not a pitch is a strike or ball pretty easily. We mentioned he's hitting 300, 364 on base percentage, and those numbers have gone up drastically over the last week or two, just like the first really 2 hitters in this lineup, Miles Ryan and Clash Wyo. Kevin Riley, who's actually been very consistent all season long, and his most recent tear is just very impressive, to say the least. So runners on the corner, 1 out. Bottom of the first inning. The Buccaneers hoping to take a lead on the Pirates. They haven't gotten a chance to do that much this season in 6 previous games. Although I do remember in Game 1 on opening day, they took a 3-0 lead. Check swing, foul back at the screen, and it's 0-1 to Johnny Juarez. Juarez has 5 RBIs and 3 runs scored on the season for the Buccaneers. Ryan Romero's favorite team, being in Southern California now, I guess, is the Dodgers. Favorite player, Nolan Ryan, as he throws a pickoff throw over to first base to no avail. Johnny Juarez, 5'11", 190, goes to Mount San Antonio and swings and misses at this one, which is strike 2. Mount San Antonio College, of course, maybe a mile away from here, right down the street from Cal Poly Pomona. They have really nice facilities there, because there's also very nice facilities here. This one swung on and lined down the right field line, foul and out of play. Hometown for Johnny Juarez, Glendora, and went to Glendora High School. On deck is Rudy Casares, so big moment right here for the Buccaneers to try to jump out to a lead. Feel good about themselves after 1 inning. Here's the pitch. Swung and lined right back at Romero. It's a comebacker. He throws down the second, and the throw to first now comes back out of the reach of Alvarez, and in comes Ryan to score on the throwing error. And so the Bucs take a 1-0 lead. What was really interesting was the fact that Ryan actually held up at third base, and I guess he held up because it was a comebacker at the pitcher. But in that scenario, Romero was thinking double play the whole way and didn't even check the runner at third base. And then the error by the shortstop, Escobar, and it's 1-0 Bucs. This one's out of play, foul ball by Rudy Casares, so it's 1-0 here. On the error by the shortstop. Breaking pitch low and away for ball 1, 1-1 the count. Rudy Casares, 5'10", 185, right-handed hitter from Cal State San Bernardino. Takes high and tight for ball 2, 2-1 the count. Majors in kinesiology there. Here's the pitch. High and in again for ball 3. 3-1. Casares is batting .222 this season. Hometown, Chino Hills, went to Ayala High School. One of several Ayala High School players on this Buccaneer team. High fly ball to shallow center field, and camping underneath it is Nathan Version to retire Rudy Casares. But the Buccaneers do get one run on an error by the shortstop, and it's 1-0 Bucks at the end of 1. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. I think we were having some technical difficulties for a few seconds, but I believe they have been fixed now, as this pitch is a bouncer in the dirt, 59-footer from Ramirez for a ball to Christian Kelly. Christian Kelly, of course, an SCCBL All-Star last year. Very great defensive catcher. Fouls this one, a breaking pitch off. Said that he really wanted to work on his bat this summer season. And we said the .396 batting average sounds like he really is and has been working on his bat. And he's been doing a really good job of it. But he's going to have to protect here with a 2-strike count against Ramirez. Here's the pitch. And this one misses low and away for a ball. Christian Kelly started his career at UC Santa Barbara and redshirted there before transferring here to Cal Poly Pomona. Fastball swung on and fouled down the first base line. Another 2-strike pitch to come here. We mentioned the .349 batting average. Called strike 3 on the outside corner, and down goes Christian Kelly as he walks back slowly to his dugout. I'm not sure if he didn't like the call or what, but it was probably a pitch that you do have to protect there because it was very close to the strike zone. And here comes Anthony Version. Anthony Version hitting .312, .439 on base percentage for the Pirates. But Ramirez has looked very strong so far in the first 2 innings. First pitch misses high for a ball to Anthony Version. Version is 6'0", 200 pounds. Will play at Citrus College as a sophomore next season. Breaking pitch in there for called strike 1, 1-1 the count. On deck is Michael Johnson. And in the hole, Matt Reynoso, should somebody get on base. This one's swung, and this is going to be a routine ground ball over to the shortstop, Kevin Riley, who fields cleanly and fires across the diamond for the final out. So 3 up, 3 down here in the second inning. At the end of 1.5, it remains a 1-0 score. Buccaneers on top of the Pirates. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. To the bottom of 2 we go. 1-0 the score. Buccaneers on top of the Pirates. Bryce Brooks at the plate. And there's also a new pitcher. That is Jack Johnson. So Ryan Romero only goes 1 inning. And in comes Jack Johnson. 16 innings pitched so far this season. 1-1 record, 1 save. 23 strikeouts in those 16 innings. This one swung on line drive in the right center field for a base hit by Bryce Brooks. So the first pitch he sees, he takes out to right field for the hit. And once again, the leadoff man is on base for the Buccaneers. And we talked about it before earlier in this season. When you get that first man on base, numbers go up a lot. They go up a lot in terms of being able to score a run in an inning. And it held true back in the first as Miles Ryan, the leadoff hitter, singled and wound up scoring. Squaring around and now bring it back as Spawn on a breaking pitch that missed high for ball 1. 1-0 the count. Jack Spawn hitting .238, but a .360 on base percentage, which tells you that obviously he has a good eye at the plate and is disciplined. Jack Johnson checks the runner, fires home, fastball that Jack Spawn tried to bunt but couldn't get down. So it's 1-1 now. Jack Johnson is 6'0", 190. Plays for UC Riverside in the Big West, a very, very good conference. And this one is fouled on a bunt attempt. So Spawn can't get it down again, and now it's 1-2. Told you Jack Johnson really a strikeout pitcher, 23 strikeouts in 16 innings. And now with a 2-strike count, definitely figure that you might have another opportunity here. Johnson, a major in bioengineering at UC Riverside, and they tried to bunt it again, and it's foul. And so that'll be a strikeout, and strikeout number 24 of the season for Jack Johnson. Johnson, hometown, Riverside. Went to JW North High School and is a CIF champion. Was also a scholar athlete there. Says his most memorable moment was throwing a one-hitter against Jay Serra in the playoffs. You obviously have to have talent to do something like that. First pitch misses high for ball 1 to Anthony Rabito. 1-0 the count to him. He's batting .214 on the season. Mentioned this before, but it's worth noting as there's a pickoff throw to first, but just kind of to keep Brooks on his toes, because Brooks didn't even have to slide back to the base. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Swan lined into right field, and that'll be another base hit in the right field for the Buccaneers. So Rabito singling, and now Tanner Thibodeau comes up. Tanner Thibodeau, the left-handed hitter from Nebraska, goes to Kansas City Community College, and he's another guy over the last day or so that's really been seeing the ball a lot better. Had the game-winning RBI hit in Game 2 of the doubleheader against the Rounders on Saturday. In the 5th inning of that game, the game only went 7 overall. First pitch misses high for a ball to Thibodeau. We were beginning to say that we mentioned this before, but it's worth noting again, and we never got to tell you the story, but as a southpaw, Jack Johnson, his favorite team is the Dodgers, and so obviously his favorite 2 players of all time are Sandy Koufax and Clayton Kershaw. This pitch missed low for a ball to Tanner Thibodeau. Another runner in scoring position here for the Buccaneers, and this one is chopped over to the right side at Alvarez. Alvarez trying to throw it over to second base, and he records the force out there. They can't get the 3-6-3 double play, though, but they do get the runner at second. So Anthony Rabito is retired. Bryce Brooks moves up to third, and Tanner Thibodeau reaches on the fielder's choice. Here comes Miles Ryan at the plate. Ryan singled and scored back in the first inning. He's 1 for 1. He was sacrificed over by Mbusi Lashuayo, who's now out of the game after pulling his hamstring. Well, we don't want to speculate that he pulled his hamstring, but he definitely was grabbing his hamstring after the sacrifice bunt and couldn't come back in the field in the next inning, as this one misses inside for ball 1. 1-0 the count to Ryan. So it'll be Diego Cortez on deck, who came in as a defensive replacement for him back in the last inning. Here's the pitch, and it misses inside again. Ball 2, 2-0 the count. Well, Tanner Thibodeau is on first base with nobody on second. He was bragging a lot about his speed on Saturday, saying he was the fastest person on the team. And then the team said that they raced, and he won. I don't know if that was a joke or not, because he's a tall, slender guy, and this one misses high for ball 3. Especially considering there's a lot of speed demons on the Buccaneers, especially Lashuayo, who is now out of the game, as we had mentioned earlier in this at-bat. Thibodeau jumping around a lot, trying to get in the head of Jack Johnson. He comes home to the plate and misses low for a 4-pitch walk. And the bases are now loaded for the Buccaneers here in the bottom of the second inning. They lead 1-0. And here comes Diego Cortez from the University of Laverne. This is not what we expected to see for sure between the Pirates and the Buccaneers based on how the first 6 games went. But this one misses low, and it's 1-0 to Cortez. But it's always hard. I mean, it would be hard to beat anybody 7 times in a row. Pirates have done that 6 times already. And now Christian Kelly calling for time, and he will meet Jack Johnson at the mound as Diego Cortez walks down the third base line to talk with Kevin Bowler about their strategy and what they want to do here with the bases loaded. And 2 outs in the bottom of the second inning. Buccaneers still trailing, or the Buccaneers leading, I should say, 1-0. Cortez is 5'10", 180, right-handed hitter. Majors in accounting at Laverne. Takes this pitch inside for a ball, and it's 1-0. Hometown Upland, went to Upland High School. Well, this is a big moment right here already for the Bucs. This is something that's plagued them all season long. They were not able to take advantage of this type of situation. This is a two-hopper over to the third baseman, Virgin, who fires the short way over to second and gets the force out there to retire the side. But it was another big inning for the Bucs. They just couldn't score a run there, and it'll remain 1-0. Bucs on top of the Pirates at the end of 2. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. Welcome back to the top of 3 we go. 1-0 the score. Buccaneers on top of the Pirates. Michael Johnson at the plate, 6'0", 170-pound right-handed hitter from Cal Poly Pomona. Very comfortable in that batter's box is number 7 as this pitch misses outside for ball 1 from Gerardo Ramirez. Ramirez only allowing, I should say, 1 base runner so far, and that was Andrew Alvarez, who doubled off the left field wall. But this will be the second base runner as this is a line drive into right field. Basically just taking that the opposite way on an outside pitch and pushing it into right field. Here comes Reynoso, Matthew Reynoso, for his first at-bat. We're at the number 9 spot in the lineup. So you really have to figure it for the Pirates if Reynoso can get on base, or maybe lay down a sacrifice bunt here at the top of the lineup, and you might be able to do something big in this inning. If you do remember, the Buccaneers actually had a sacrifice bunt in their first inning that helped allow them to score that first run. It was Mbusi Hlaswayo, who sacrificed over Miles Ryan into scoring position. Then Kevin Riley had a hit, and then there was an error, and that's how the run scored. First pitch misses low and away for a ball. 1-0 count to Reynoso. Matthew Reynoso, of course, the nephew of the manager Charlie Reynoso, over at third base right now. Also cousins with Aaron and Johnny, who are on the team. He squares around and tries to swing at it, but fouls it behind home plate and is 1-1. It's kind of something you see. I mean, you see baseball players do it a lot too, but especially in softball, you see that where you try to slash. Show a bunt, and then you try to slash and get a hit. Bryce Brooks very close, and this is a bunt down the first base line, and is a sacrifice to perfection by Reynoso, who's tagged out by Ramirez. So that'll be the first out here on the 1 unassisted. But advancing into scoring position is Michael Johnson now, with the top of the lineup to come. So here is Fernando Escobar. Escobar hitting .302 on the season. 0 for 1 today with a fly out to left field. Late kick, and here's the pitch. Off-speed pitch on the outside corner, called strike 1, and it's 0-1 to Escobar. We talked about Ryan Romero being on that Fullerton College state runner-up team. So too was Fernando Escobar. And then both of them heading to San Francisco State as well after that. Chopper to the right side, foul by Escobar. Escobar hometown is Corona. Went to Corona High School and was an all-league player and a defensive player of the year twice. And it's no secret why he was a defensive player of the year twice if you've seen him play defense this season in the SCCBL. Ramirez checking the runner at second. Here's the pitch. Fastball in there. Called strike 3 on the outside corner, and down goes Escobar. And up comes Channing Varela. Channing Varela is 0 for 1, grounded out to the third baseman Bryce Brooks in his first at-bat. You know, the Pirates would love to take advantage of this situation with the man in scoring position here in the top of the third inning. They trail 1-0. They sacrifice Johnson over as this one misses low and away, and it's 1-0. Sacrifice laid down by Matthew Reynoso down the first base line. Johnson reached base on a single to right field. Here's the pitch. Swung and missed. Off-speed pitch, and it's 1-1. It looks like Gerardo Ramirez is really throwing out a lot of pitches today. Seeing a fastball, curveball. Takes a few off it sometimes, so probably a changeup. Like again, here's the pitch. Swung on, and this one's lined up the middle, right back from where it came from. Johnson being waved home by Charlie Reynoso, and in comes Johnson to score, and it's 1 apiece here in the top of the 3rd inning on an RBI single by Channing Varela. We're wondering maybe there might have been a play at the plate. Diego Cortez was charging out in center field, and it might have been close had he been able to field it cleanly and throw it to the catcher, Johnny Juarez, but he didn't field it cleanly. But that's definitely going down as an RBI nonetheless, as it would have had to have been a perfect play. And here's Andrew Alvarez. He's 1 for 1 with a double off the left field wall. Speaking of left fielder, Miles Ryan is literally standing maybe 5 feet away from the fence out there in left field this time. Coming into today, Alvarez was 429. Here's the pitch. Swung on and fouled out of play behind home plate. And if you look at his league numbers, they're even better. He's hitting 474 in league, I should say. So that tells you when it matters most, he's at his best. And that's why he earned that scholarship to Houston Baptist, a D1 school in the Southland Conference. This one's called a strike on the inside, and is 0-2 here to Andrew Alvarez. Alvarez playing for Orange Coast College this past season. Won a state junior collegiate championship. Pickoff throw over to first. Almost got Varela, but he just gets back in time. Well, we talked about it. You get your leadoff man on base, and the numbers go up astronomically in terms of being able to score him. And both times today, this pitch misses low in the dirt. Throw down to second base in time. They got Varela stealing. Nice play made by Johnny Juarez, and that will do it for this inning on the caught stealing there. But the Pirates do get 1 run, and they tie it at 1 apiece at the end of 2.5 innings. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. To the bottom of 3 we go in a 1-1 game. Pirates and Buccaneers doing battle for the final time this season at Cal Poly Pomona. Up comes Kevin Riley, the number 3 hitter. So the heart of the lineup 2 up here for the Buccaneers in the bottom of the 3rd. Riley is 1 for 1 with a single to right field. Pitch from Johnson. Swung and lifted into deep right center field, and that is going to go all the way back to the fence, or just around the fence, and it'll be a stand-up double for Kevin Riley. And Kevin Riley, wow, he is firmly putting himself among the top hitters in this league. Coming into today, he was 12 for his last 23, so now he's 14 for his last 25. Kevin Riley on fire, and that's an understatement. So the Bucs now with another man in scoring position with a leadoff double by Kevin Riley. Here's Johnny Juarez, and he lines this one in right field. And Michael Johnson going back, and he can't make the catch. It's off his glove. And so Riley will only be able to advance 1 base to 3rd because he was tagging up, thinking that Johnson might be able to make the catch. So Juarez reaches base, and there's now runners on the corners with no outs for Jack Johnson. Here's Rudy Casares. He's 0 for 1 with a fly out to center field. So the Pirates get 1 back, and the Buccaneers threatening to regain the lead here in the bottom of the 3rd as the first pitch is a breaking ball low for ball 1. 1-0 the count to Casares. Jack Johnson steps off the mound. Here's the pitch. And this is a line drive in the right field, and that's going to be another base hit, an RBI single for Casares, and in comes Riley, and the Bucs lead 2-1. Timeout call for by Charlie Reynoso, who's now taking a mound visit to check on Jack Johnson, and it looks like Johnson might get the hook as he's calling for somebody in the bullpen. And there goes Jack Johnson. So we have not seen Jack Johnson really knocked around like that all season long. And really, Buccaneers making good contact with both Romero and Johnson here in the first 3 innings. They lead 2-1. We'll step away for a few moments as we wait for the relief pitcher, and the relief pitcher will be Aaron Reynoso. So this is much earlier than we're accustomed to seeing Aaron Reynoso pitch. He's usually a 7th, 8th inning type of guy, but he's coming in here in the 3rd inning to replace Jack Johnson when we come back. And welcome back. We are still in the bottom of the 3rd inning. First 3 hitters in this inning all getting hits. And Jack Johnson was knocked out of the game, and in comes Aaron Reynoso. It was Kevin Riley who led off with a double, then a single by Johnny Juarez. And this is going to be a bunt down the third base line, and that's going to be a bunt for a hit. And the bases are now loaded after 4 consecutive hitters have reached base here for the Buccaneers. Rudy Casares had the RBI single, and Bryce Brooks with that bunt single. And here comes Jack Spahn. Still no outs in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Aaron Reynoso has been very, very good in 14 2/3 innings this season. No earned runs. He has given up a couple runs, but no earned. This one's swung, and this is a line drive, fly ball to deep left field. Matthew Reynoso running back, and he can only look at it. It's a grand slam. It's gone. It's out of here. And the Buccaneers, they take a 6-1 lead in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Off the bat, it looked like it had a chance, but Reynoso was charging very, very hard out in left field, so I thought maybe he would have a chance to get to it. But Jack Spahn with a no-doubter grand slam. And all of a sudden, the Buccaneers lead 6-1 in the 3rd inning. Wow. Here comes Anthony Ribito. He's 1 for 1 with a single. Checks his swing, and that will just roll foul down the first base line, so it's 0-1 here. So now you've had the first 5 guys all reach base here. And obviously that'll be an earned run for Reynoso, or 2 earned runs for Reynoso, as 2 of those guys will be charged to him. Fastball high for a ball to Ribito. Well, we mentioned it was going to be hard to defeat the same team 7 times, and it looks like that's holding true right here. Still only the 3rd inning, so Pirates still do have 6 more at-bats to come, but it's going to be a major comeback effort as they trail by 5 runs. Towering fly ball, foul. Will it stay in play? Yes, it does. Basket catch made by Alvarez on the first base line. So that is finally the first man retired here in the inning after offensive fireworks by the Buccaneers, led off by Kevin Riley, who has been nothing short of sensational, but then everybody just hitting line drives, culminating with a Jack Spahn grand slam over the left field wall. Here comes Tanner Thibodeau. Swings and fouls this one out of play down the third base line, and it's 0-1 to him. He's 0 for 1, reached on a fielder's choice back in the 2nd inning. This is not what the Pirates expected for sure. But we talked about the Buccaneers have been playing a lot better over the last few games, especially offensively. And they're showing it right here. Reynoso set in the stretch, fires. Fastball low for a ball to Thibodeau. Thibodeau, the number 9 hitter, so back to the top of the lineup after this. And in 3 innings, the Buccaneers already have hit through the lineup twice. Something completely unexpected. Fouled back, and it's strike 2 for Thibodeau. And it's 2-2. It's been a very, very good start offensively for the Buccaneers, who lead 6-1 here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Swung on and missed. That's strike 3. So down goes Thibodeau, and that's the second out here in the third inning. Five runs in this inning. After 5 consecutive hits, finishing with a grand slam by Jack Spahn. Rudy Casares also had an RBI single before that. Here comes Miles Ryan back to the top of the lineup. First pitch to him misses outside for ball 1. 1-0 the count. Ryan 1 for 1. Singled and scored in the first and walked in the second inning. And here he comes up again in the third inning. This is the 8th hitter the Bucs have sent up this inning. Here's the pitch. Breaking pitch in there for a called strike. 1-1 the count. Right at the knees as Ryan kind of froze there. Here's the 1-1 offering from Reynoso, and it misses low and away, 2-1. Well, for the Pirates, it's really that you can't really get ahead of yourself. You have to win the games on the field. Can't count your chickens before they're hatched, so to speak. And they were thinking that they were maybe going to be the #1 seed in the playoffs if they just won out, but they're going to have a whale of a time just coming back here in this game right here today. This pitch missed low for a ball from Reynoso. And here's the pitch. Fastball bounced down the third base line and past Virgin. And Ryan is on base for the third time. That'll be an error on the third baseman. It was a tough play, but a play he probably should have made on a backhanded grab. And here is Diego Cortez. So officially, the Buccaneers have hit through the lineup in the third inning, as this is the 9th man to come to the plate. The Buccaneers took the 1-0 lead in the bottom of the first on a single by, as the runner goes, throw down at second base, Christian Kelly. Oh, it looked like he had him, but the tag must not have been applied by the shortstop Escobar. So Ryan steals second base. And that's one of the very few stolen bases we've seen on Kelly all season long. And it looked like the ball had gotten down there, but the throw was off target a little bit. And obviously Escobar is just not able to apply the tag. Reynoso checks the runner at second base. And now comes home. And this one is bounced foul down the first base line. Well, it was Ryan who started out in the first inning. He singled and scored on an error. So it was 1-0 Bucs. The Pirates got one back in the top of the third to tie it up at 1 apiece. And now here in the bottom of the third, 5 runs in already. Swung on and fouled back, so that'll be second strike for Cortez. 5 runs on 5 hits and 1 error by the Pirates. Here's the 2-strike offering, and this one misses well high and away for a ball to Cortez. Cortez, of course, one of 3 University of Luverne players in this Inland Valley Baseball Association. The other 2 happen to be members of the Pirates. Nolan Henley and Brett Early playing for Luverne. Here's the pitch from Reynoso. Swung, and this is a line drive down the right field line. Johnson can't make the catch again. That is the second time he's not been able to make a catch out there. And a run comes in to score in the form of Ryan after the error by the right fielder. So the second consecutive error here, and another run comes in to score. And now that's 6 in the inning and 7 overall for the Bucs. And now this is the 10th man to bat in this inning. The guy who started it all off, Kevin Riley, with a double to right center field, right at the Scalinos Field sign out there in the gap. And we mentioned how good this guy has been hitting over the last 5 or 6 games. Swings at this one and fouls it off his ankle. And is 0-1 to Kevin Riley. Kevin Riley, 6'1", 185. Chaffey College is where he plays. He'll be a sophomore there next year. Hit .320 for them as a freshman and was a first-team All-Foothill Conference performer. Reynoso comes set. And here is the 0-1 pitch. Swan, and this is a line drive to deep left center field. Running back and making the catch on the warning track is Matthew Reynoso, the cousin of Aaron. And so the side is finally retired after 10 hitters come up in the inning. 6 runs, 5 hits, 2 errors, and it's 7-1. Buccaneers on top of the Pirates. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. And welcome back to the top before we go. 7-1 the score. Buccaneers on top. First pitch called a strike to Andrew Alvarez, and it's 0-1. Gerardo Ramirez remains on the mound for the Bucs, as the heart of the lineup is due up in this inning for the Pirates. Fastball outside, ball 1. 1-1 the count. Well, 7-1 the score. Wow. Buccaneers on top. This one is swung and lifted into shallow right field. The catch made by Rudy Casares, and down goes Alvarez. And up comes A.J. David. David 0 for 1, grounded out to the second baseman Casares in his first at-bat. Well, it's going to be interesting to see if the Buccaneers can maintain this lead. Obviously, they're up by 6, so they have a lot of room to work with. And this one's called a strike to David. And it's 0-1. A.J. David's hometown is Anaheim. Went to Catella High School, where he was an all-league performer there, and hit .426 his senior season. This one misses high and away for a ball, and it's 1-1. Here's the 1-1 offering, and this one misses low. 2-1 the count. Well, for the Pirates, really what you have to do to get back in this game is just start seeing a lot of pitches and extending Gerardo Ramirez as much as you can. As this one, it's called a strike on the outside corner. It looked like the umpire had to think about it a little bit before finally calling it a strike. And David could only kind of shake his head. We have somebody actually warming up in the pen, and that is Trask warming up in the pen. This one swung and fell back at the screen. So still a 2-strike count here for A.J. David. A.J. David hitting .270 on the season for the Pirates. Swings at this one. This line drive in the right center field, and that'll get down for a base hit. So David reaches on the single to right field, and up comes Nathan Virgin. Virgin's 0 for 1. Grounded out right back to the pitcher, Ramirez, who ran over towards first base and flipped it underhand over to the first baseman, Jack Spahn. Here's the pitch from Ramirez. Breaking pitch low, and that is ball 1. 1-0 count. Well, it's interesting to see that Trask is warming up over there because Ramirez has pitched very well in these first 3 innings. And now, obviously, we're in the 4th. Pickoff throw, almost in time. David was kind of caught in the middle ground of deciding whether or not he wanted to slide back or stay up on his feet. It looked kind of awkward going back to first base, but he is still safe. Breaking pitch in there for a strike, and it's 1-1 to Nathan Virgin. Virgin, another returning player here in the SCCBL and for the Pirates, one of 17 for the Inland Valley Pirates, as this is high and inside for a ball to him. His hometown is Chino and went to Don Lugo High School. Was a first-team All-Mount Baldy League selection there. On deck is Christian Kelly, and Anthony Virgin, his brother, is in the hole. Nathan's brother, of course. Here's the pitch. Breaking pitch in there for called strike 2. And so Gerardo Ramirez really doing a good job of locating those off-speed pitches. Kind of just biting the corners both inside and outside. Been really difficult to deal with for the Pirates, but this one's high and tight, and it actually clipped off the left wrist of Virgin. So Virgin is hit by the pitch and will reach first base that way, as there are now 2 base runners here for the Pirates with 1 out in the top of the 4th inning. If you're just joining us, first of all, Pirates are the road team and the Buccaneers are the home team. Secondly, you have missed a lot. The Bucs scored 1 in the 1st inning on an error, and the Pirates tied it up at 1 apiece on a Channing Varela RBI single. And then offensive fireworks in the bottom of the 3rd, as this one's called a strike and it's 0-1 to Christian Kelly. 6 runs scored by the Bucs in the 3rd inning. 4 of them were on a Jack Spawn grand slam to left field. Another one came in on an error by Michael Johnson. Here's the pitch. Swung and fouled. Out of play by Kelly. And the first run in that inning was on an RBI single by Rudy Casares. And these were all line drives to the outfield for the most part. They had 5 consecutive hits. Fastball overthrown in the dirt, gets by Juarez, but the runner David Cannon advanced 90 feet in the 3rd. Johnny Juarez did a very good job of getting to the ball very quickly, and didn't get that far away from him either. Juarez has had a good day behind home plate, throwing out a runner. Also singled and scored in that 3rd inning. Here's the pitch from Ramirez. Once again, 59-footer overthrown on a fastball. It looked like he was saying, my bad, to Juarez, who made a nice stop again. This is going to be very interesting to see. You're up 7-1, so you're up by 6 runs. So you don't really feel like the nerves will settle in for the Buccaneers. Although this breaking pitch misses by a lot. Juarez making the throw down to third base, and it gets by Bryce Brooks, but it doesn't get by him far enough for David to be able to advance to home plate and score. But both runners do advance here, so now both runners in scoring position after the wild pitch. With 1 out here in the top of the 4th inning. And Christian Kelly at the plate. And Christian Kelly, he's 0 for 1 with a strikeout here today. But this is the guy that you want at the plate. He's leading the team in RBIs with 10 so far this season. You have another guy on deck who's been very, very solid as well, in Anthony Virgin. But he swings and misses at this one, and that's strike 3. So down goes Kelly. So 2 strikeouts today for him, and he's 0 for 2. And here comes Anthony Virgin. He's 0 for 1. Grounded out to the shortstop, Kevin Riley, to finish the 2nd inning. Now here he comes back in the 4th inning with 2 men in scoring position. Now obviously, this is a must-have if you're the Pirates. You've got to get these 2 runs in any way you can, as this fastball misses upstairs for ball 1, 1-0 the count. The reason it's a must-have is because you're trailing by 6 runs. So to get 2 here in the 4th would be huge. Go a long way into potentially getting back into this game. Breaking pitch alone away, and it's 2-0 to Anthony Virgin. Well, you look at Anthony Virgin's numbers and you see the .312 batting average, which is obviously very good. What's even better is the .439 on base percentage. So he's a guy who really has a good understanding of the strike zone, and he's not going to offer it something out of the zone, which is why he's up on the count 2-0 here. And this is really a hitter's pitch for Virgin, but that's a breaking pitch that's in the dirt, and it's now 3-0. So 3-0 to Virgin. I'm sure the take will be on the whole way here for him. On deck is Michael Johnson. Johnson making a couple mistakes out in right field in the last inning. Would love nothing better than to try to make up for it here in this inning with the bases loaded. Fastball inside, ball 4. 4-pitch walk drawn there by Anthony Virgin. And now the bases are loaded for the Pirates. Pirates hoping for a 2-out rally here. Andrew Alvarez led the inning off, flying out to second base. And A.J. Davis singled. Nathan Virgin was hit by a pitch. Christian Kelly struck out, and Anthony Virgin walked. So that's where we stand with the bases loaded. And now here comes Kevin Bowler to have a little mound visit in conference with Gerardo Ramirez. Johnny Juarez joining them on the mound. The question is, will Ramirez be able to finish this inning out? And it looks like that will be the case because he's not calling for Trask to come in. We mentioned we saw Eric Trask warming up down the third base line in the bullpen. He's not out there anymore, so either he's loose or Kevin Bowler decided that he wanted to stick with Ramirez for maybe a little bit more, a few more innings even. But it's still, as we said, it's the top of the fourth inning. Pirates still with a lot of at-bats to try to attempt a comeback. But you figure that this might really kind of take the wind out of the sail with the bases loaded here if the Pirates can't convert. The bases are loaded, as we just mentioned, and Michael Johnson at the plate. He singled into right field his first at-bat, and he takes an off-speed pitch high and inside for ball one. 1-0 the count. If he could single into right field this time, that would definitely score 2 runs here with Nathan Virgin on second. Another breaking pitch in the dirt, and it's 2-0. So whatever Kevin Bowler told Gerardo Ramirez, so far, doesn't look like it was working as he throws balls on the first 2 pitches after the conference. Here's the 2-0 offering. Swung on and lined over to Bryce Brooks, and Bryce Brooks on the one hop will stand on the bag, and that'll do it for the top of the fourth inning. So the Pirates have bases loaded but can't score a run, and they continue to trail 7-1. You're listening to InlandValleyBaseball.com. Welcome back. It's the bottom of the fourth inning here at Cal Poly Pomona. 7-1 the score. Buccaneers on top of the Pirates. The Buccaneers just sent up 10 men in the third inning. And here comes Johnny Juarez for his third at-bat of the day. Singled and scored in that third inning. And this one is a fly ball lifted into right field over towards Michael Johnson. And he makes another error. It's another error. It looked like he might have caught that one, but he loses that one. And he is having a very, very hard day out there, to say the least. And so Johnny Juarez is now on second base after the error by Johnson. Charlie Reynoso is going to come out and talk to the umpires to say that Johnson did catch it, and then he lost it, transitioning it back into his throwing hand. Charlie Reynoso talking to the home plate umpire, and his son Aaron talking to the second base umpire. We'll see what happens here. Looks like Charlie is not going to win this argument, as he was heading back to his dugout for, at first he was heading back, and now he's back over towards home plate to talk to the umpire. The Buccaneers playing with a lot more passion here today. Mentioned, though, over the last week, really playing with a lot of passion ever since losing to the Rounders on Tuesday. Played the Pirates tough on Thursday and then swept the doubleheader on Saturday before losing yesterday to a very good 22-3 top speed team. Fastball misses outside for ball one. 1-0 the count to Rudy Casares. Casares 1 for 2. Had an RBI single in the third inning and also scored. Flew out to the center fielder in the first inning. Noso steps off the mound. Here's the pitch from Reynoso. Fastball low and away for another ball. Kelly thrown down to the second, and they could have had the play, but Escobar couldn't handle it, as Johnny Juarez was almost picked off by the catcher at second base. Reynoso taking a lot of looks at second base before firing an off-speed pitch in there for a strike to Casares. Nobody was holding on Juarez at second, even though Reynoso checked back about 3 times. Of course, Aaron Reynoso is the son of Charlie, the manager, 5'10", 205-pound right-handed pitcher. Squaring around is Casares and bringing it back on a pitch that misses low and inside for a ball. Aaron is a business administration major here at Cal Poly Pomona. Here's the pitch. Fastball low for ball 4. And Rudy Casares gets the free pass. And so the first 2 men here are on base in the 4th inning. Johnny Juarez reaching on the error by the right fielder Johnson. Rudy Casares reaching on a walk. And here is Bryce Brooks, who had the bunt single back in the last inning and then scored on the grand slam by Jack Spahn. Also singled in the 2nd inning, so he's 2 for 2. Squaring around this time and fouling it back at the screen. So Bryce Brooks thinking that he had the bunt hit his last at-bat. Why not try it again here in this at-bat? Maybe thinking that there's 2 men on and no outs and I'm trying to sacrifice, but it looked more like he was trying to kind of run while he was bunting it as opposed to just standing there trying to get the bunt down as a sacrifice situation. But let's see. No, this is a sacrifice. And this is foul, and it actually hit off his fingers as he was trying to bunt it, and it looks like it hurts a lot as he's kind of hunched over now. His number 7. Bryce Brooks clearly in a lot of pain as he tries to walk it off down the first base line. And he might be coming out of the game. Let's see what's going to happen here. Kevin Bowler is checking the right hand of Bryce Brooks, who looks like he's clearly in a lot of pain. And this is going to be very interesting to see what happens. You obviously feel very bad for Bryce Brooks. We're going to step away for a few moments here. And welcome back. We are still in the bottom of the 4th inning. Bryce Brooks has been replaced by Michael Smith, who was inheriting a 2-2 count. So kind of weird position here for Michael Smith to inherit. He was actually squaring around to try to bunt, and this pitch missed low for a ball. So I guess they're going to try to still get the sacrifice down with 2 runners on. And no outs here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Buccaneers up by 6 runs, 7-1 the score. Here's the pitch. And this one misses high for a ball. Christian Kelly was thinking of maybe making a snap throw down at first base, catch off Rudy Casares, but he decided better of it and held it. Here's the pitch, and this one hits Smith in the head. And Smith says that he's fine as he will hustle down to first base. And here comes Jack Spahn. Jack Spahn 1 for 2, but the one is certainly a big one as Jack Spahn hit a grand slam over the left field fence. And here he comes up again with the bases loaded. Meanwhile, Aaron Reynoso is now pulled out of the game as Brett Early will come onto the mound. And we will step away again as Brett Early warms up here at Cal Poly Pomona. Still in the bottom of the fourth inning. 7-1 the score. Buccaneers on top of the Pirates. Brett Early now in the pitch with the bases loaded and Jack Spahn at the plate. He takes inside for strike one, 0-1 the count. Well, the last time Jack Spahn came at bat, he also had the bases loaded, and he proceeded to park it into left field for a grand slam. But Early comes in with 2 strikes on the inside corner, and it's now 0-2 to Jack Spahn. Spahn is 1 for 2 in the game, but obviously the one was a 4 RBI home run, grand slam. Early checks the runner at third, no one holding on. Fastball on the outside corner, called strike 3. So down goes Jack Spahn, and that's only the second out of the inning. Bases still loaded. Brett Early is 6'2", 205, right-handed pitcher from the University of Laverne. Majors in math there. Hometown Chino, went to Don Lugo High School and was an all-CIF selection. Breaking pitch in at the knees, called strike 1 to Anthony Rubito, 0-1 the count. Rubito is 1 for 2, singled in the second inning, and flew out to the first baseman Alvarez in the third inning. This one's lined in the left field, and in comes another run. That is Johnny Juarez, and it's now 8-1 Buccaneers. So an RBI single for Rubito. Cassara is now at third base. He was walked. Michael Smith at second base. He was hit by a pitch. And, of course, Rubito at first after that RBI single. And here comes Tanner Thibodeau. Thibodeau is 0 for 2. Struck out and reached on a fielder's choice. He takes the low for ball 1. 1-0 the count. Brett Early participating in 3 sports in high school. Baseball, football, and wrestling. Bases still loaded here for Tanner Thibodeau. Snap throw down in third, not in time from Christian Kelly. Thibodeau is 6'1", 170, left-handed hitter. Here's the pitch. Swan, and this is a line drive into right field, and that might be trouble for Johnson, who has had a lot of trouble there today. And he finally makes a catch. And there's a sarcastic cheer as that'll be a sac fly. And yet another run for the Buccaneers. So that actually pitch misses high for ball. 1-0 the count to Miles Ryan. He's singled, walked, and reached on an error. Scored a couple times, also stole a bag. So there was only 1 out. That was the second out. The other one was an out in the previous inning, and it was the 10th hitter to come up in that inning, which is why I made that mistake, so I apologize for that, as this is called a strike, and it's 1-1. So that is a sac fly, RBI for Tanner Thibodeau to make this a 9-1 ball game. High and away for a ball to Ryan. 2-1 the count. Runners on the corners, 2 outs, 9-1. Buccaneers on top of the Pirates. This one is fouled down the third base line. And it's a 2-strike count here to Ryan. Ryan, the right-handed hitter, going against the right-handed hurler, Brett Early. Beto takes his lead off first base, while Michael Smith is on third. Called strike 3, and down goes Ryan. But once again, the damage has been done as the Buccaneers, they tally 2 more runs and take a 9-1 lead at the end of 4. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. And welcome back as we head to the top of the 5th inning. 9-1 the score. Buccaneers on top of the Pirates. completely unexpected based on how the previous 6 encounters have gone. Here's Jacob Bernardi for his first at-bat, and he takes low for ball 1. 1-0 the count. Bernardi comes in to replace Matthew Reynoso, who sacrificed in his only plate appearance. This one called a strike, and it's 1-1 to Bernardi. Jacob is 6'2", 190, right-handed hitter from Cal Poly Pomona. Gerardo Ramirez remains on the bump for the Bucs as this fastball is called a strike for the second strike to Bernardi. On deck is Espinosa. So it looks like we're going to start having a lot of replacements for the Pirates. This one's a fly ball to deep center field. Diego Cortez, though, has it under control. And down goes Bernardi. As we mentioned, Greg Espinosa now coming in for Fernando Escobar here. So Escobar finishes 0 for 2 on the day. Espinosa, of course, had a great day last Monday when the Palm Springs Power were in town. Went 5 for 7 in the doubleheader. Here's a pitch, fastball inside, ball 1, 1-0 the count. Ramirez fires, and this one's fouled straight back, and it's 1-1. Greg Espinosa, of course, teammates with Andrew Alvarez at Orange Coast College on a state championship team. And then both of them are headed to Houston Baptist next season. Bounces this one up the middle, and Michael Smith charges and fires across his arm, sidearm, and they can't make the play as the speedy Greg Espinosa beats it out for an infield base hit. And it's going to be close between a hit and an error, but it was a really tough play for Michael Smith to make as it was hit up the middle, and he had to backhand it and throw it sidearm to first base. Throw did pull Spawn off the base a little bit, but Espinosa looked like he was already there. Ramirez checks the runner. That's Espinosa. Here's the pitch. Breaking pitch in there for strike 1 to Jason Padlow. So Jason Padlow now in the game for Channing Varela. So Varela will end 1 for 2 with an RBI single. That was the only run the Pirates scored. Padlow is 5'11", 200. Another Cal Poly Pomona Bronco. Saw another one in Bernardi earlier in this inning. Padlow with baseball in his genes and bloodline. Swings at this one and fouls it out of play down the right field line. Both his father and grandfather playing in minor league systems. His father, John, played in the Giants farm system, and his grandfather played in the Yankees system. And they are both currently scouts in professional baseball. Meanwhile, his younger brother is actually playing in the minors as well. 0-2 the count, though, here, so he has fallen behind to Gerardo Ramirez. And it looks like we're going to get Alec Morabito on deck in for Andrew Alvarez. So basically, looks like everybody is going to come out of the game for the Pirates here in the 5th inning. Fastball high and away, ball 1, 1-2 the count. Well, what a win for the Buccaneers. I mean, you think about it, it's the 5th inning. There's still a lot of baseball to be played, but you're up by 8 runs. This would be an insane comeback for the Pirates if they came back. Plus, you're also battling daylight at this point. I mean, really, for the Pirates to come back, they need to get this as soon as possible, because if they did start making a comeback, I don't know if we have enough daylight to get 8 full runs. Fastball, bounced to the left side. Rudy Casares retreating and fires a dart over to first base. Nice play made by him, as Casares has shifted over to third and Smith is now at second. That was a very good play made there. Espinosa advancing to second base. And up comes Alec Morabito. So Morabito is now in for Alvarez, as we have our 4th consecutive change. And it also looks like we will have our 5th consecutive change should Morabito get on base, because Bryce Cherry is in the on-deck circle, in for A.J. David. And then Nolan Henley will be in for Nathan Version as well. So literally, it looks like everybody's coming out, and the new guys are going to come in the next half inning if they didn't already hit in this inning. Here's the pitch from Ramirez. Ball 2 outside, 2-0 the count to Morabito. What we were saying back in the last inning, really you just want to try to see a lot of pitches now here and kind of wear down the pitcher and get to the next guy and see if maybe you can do some damage against him. Of course, Eric Trask, if he is the next guy, and once again, he is loosening up, has been very good this season. Another guy that's from Cal Poly Pomona, so you know he feels comfortable on that mound as well. Off-speed pitch low and inside for ball 3, 3-0 the count. As Bryce Cherry awaits on deck, figure that this will be a take the whole way for Alec Morabito. Here's the pitch. It doesn't matter because it's a fastball away for ball 4. A 4-pitch walk drawn by Morabito. And up comes Bryce Cherry. So Bryce Cherry replacing A.J. David in the cleanup spot. David finishes 1 for 2 in this game. And as we mentioned before, Nolan Henley will be coming in for Nathan Version in the next spot. He is now on deck. Wonder if we'll see Dylan Lowenstein coming in for Christian Kelly as well. This one swung and fouled at a play behind home plate, and it's 0-1 here for Bryce Cherry. Bryce Cherry, one of 4 San Francisco State Gators on this team. 6'1", 205, left-handed hitter. Going against the right-handed pitcher, Gerardo Ramirez, who has done a great job here. And 4 2/3 innings. Only giving up 1 run, but this is lined through the right side for a base hit. Rounding third and coming home to score is Greg Espinoza. The throw from Anthony Rabito, not in time. It's cut off by Jack Spahn. And that is just the second run of the day here for the Pirates. They trail 9-2, top of the 5th inning. But the new guys, every single guy in this inning coming off the bench has produced 1 run here in this 1 inning. And here comes Nolan Henley. So Nolan Henley is now in for his first at-bat. Henley, of course, one of now 3 guys that we've seen hit the ball out of this park. All 3 of them going to left field. Here's the pitch. And this one's bounced foul down the third base line, just past his manager, Charlie Reynoso. 9-2 the score. Bucks on top, top of the 5th inning. 2 outs here. 2 men on. Bryce Cherry's on first, who had the RBI single, and Alex Morabito is on second, drawing a walk. This pitch, called a strike, and it's 0-2 to Nolan Henley, who really didn't like that call. Kind of put his head up to the sky. 5'11", 175 from the University of Laverne. Right-handed hitter going against the right-handed pitcher Ramirez. Ramirez checking the runner at second and will now check again before coming home. Fastball swung on and fouled back straight towards me. And we'll do it again. Another 0-2 pitch to come here for Nolan Henley. Nolan's hometown is Laverne. Went to Bonita High School, where he was a first-team All-League selection, scholar athlete, and won a CIF championship. Christian Kelly is on deck, so it looks like he is the only guy who's going to remain in the game, at least at this point. Fastball inside, ball 1. 1-2 the count to Henley. Henley's teammate, Brett Early, is on the mound right now. His teammate from the University of Laverne, I should say, for the Pirates. Here's the pitch. Breaking pitch in the dirt. Ball 2. Good discipline right there. Good purpose pitch, though, from Ramirez as well, trying to get Henley to, kind of try to offer at it and strike out swinging. Here's the pitch. Fastball cracked to deep left field. And could that be out? Oh, a leaping catch attempt made. And was the catch made? Yes, it was. The catch was made. A jumping catch made out there in left field by Ryan. The way he ran after it, it looked like he was chasing after the ball on the ground. But he does rob Nolan Henley of an extra base hit. That was a line drive rocket into left field. I was wondering if that might have been the second time he left the park, but nope, it was just warning track power, and Ryan making a very, very good play, and it's 9-2 here, halfway through the ball game. Buccaneers on top of the Pirates. To the bottom of 5 we go. 9-2 the score. Buccaneers on top of the Pirates. And we'll try to get you all the defensive changes, as there are certainly a lot of them, as soon as we see them. Brett Early remains on the mound, though, for the Pirates, as this one is high and away for ball 1 to his teammate, Diego Cortez, at the University of Laverne. So you figure that these guys must know each other well. This one swung on and foul back, and it's 1-1. Well, we have Johnny Reynoso in at third base. We have Padlo in at second. We have Morbido at first. We have Lowenstein now as the catcher. Swung on and missed, strike 2. Should be Greg Espinosa at shortstop. Here's the pitch, and this is chopped down the right side over towards Jason Padlo, who's charging in. Oh, Cortez was almost there in time, but they just retired him. So that'll be a 4-3 put out, as the third base dugout let out a major roar, thinking that he had beat it out for an infield hit. It is Greg Espinosa, by the way, at shortstop. Bernardi in left field, as this one misses. Oh, it's called a strike, and it's 0-1 here to Kevin Riley. Riley 2 for 3, singled in the first, doubled, and scored in the third, and flew out to left field in his last at bat. This one misses in the dirt, and it's 1-1. Here's the 1-1 offering from Early, and this one's low for ball 2, 2-1 the count. Nolan Henley is in center field, as this one is strike 2 on the inside corner. And that leaves somebody in right field that I can't make out. I don't think it's still Michael Johnson. Checked his swing. Did he go? Looks like we're not going to have an appeal. So that'll just be a ball to Kevin Riley. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Down goes Riley. And we've talked about it before, but really, Brett Early is a strikeout type of pitcher. He had 30 strikeouts in just 23 innings pitched last year in the SCCBL. He was also off to a very good start this year. Also had 50 strikeouts in 48 innings for the University of Laverne. And so that's what he is good at doing. He's retired the first 2 hitters he's seen here in the bottom of the 5th inning, as this one's called a strike to Johnny Juarez, 0-1 the count. Those hitters being Diego Cortez, who grounded out to the second baseman, and Kevin Riley, who just struck out. And now we're going to have Jason Padlo coming off for George Ortega. Called strike 2. Not quite sure what happened here, but I'm pretty sure George Ortega is not very accustomed to playing second base. Charlie Reynoso is talking to Padlo as his fastball is overthrown, and it's 1-2 to Johnny Juarez. Juarez reaching on a fielder's choice in the first inning, singling and scoring in the third, and reaching on an error by the right fielder and scoring in the fourth. Big breaking pitch swung on and missed, and down goes Juarez. And so the side is retired here in the bottom of the fifth inning. That is something that has not happened yet for the Pirates, and they still are behind 9-2. Buccaneers doing a lot of damage in the third inning and some more in the fourth. And they are looking really good right here as we head to the top of the sixth on InlandValleyBaseball.com. Welcome back. Here comes Dylan Lowenstein, the replacement for Christian Kelly. So Lowenstein coming up for his first plate appearance in the game. Swings at the first pitch he sees and fouls it down the third base line. 0-1 the count to Dylan. Dylan, another very talented backstop, 6'1", 205. Plays for Mount San Antonio College, just down the street in Walnut. Takes strike two, and it's 0-2 here to Dylan. This past season hit .292 for Mount San Antonio College. Hometown Chino Hills, and went to Chino Hills High School. On deck is Johnny Reynoso. And this one's called strike three on the outside corner. Lowenstein didn't like the call. And actually it was kind of remaining in the batter's box, continuing to dig the batter's box up. Home plate umpire paused for a second and then called strike three. Gerardo Ramirez still on the mound, doing a very, very good job for the Buccaneers. As this one misses high for ball one to Johnny Reynoso. Johnny Reynoso in for Anthony Virgin. The finish is 0 for 1. Swung on and flied ball foul and out of play down the third base line. And actually Eric Trask, who we've been mentioning, it seems like he's been loosening up the last 3 innings or so. He's in the bullpen again, and he looked like he wanted to try to catch that one. Here's the pitch. Called a strike, and that is strike two to Reynoso. 1-2 the count. Swung on and missed it, a breaking pitch in the dirt. And they're going to have to throw the ball down to first base, and they do. And that'll be a strikeout here for Johnny Reynoso. And up comes Kyle Garlick. Garlick, the newest member of the Pirates. He's from the University of Oregon. Actually graduated, but has 1 year of eligibility left, so he will be attending Cal Poly Pomona here next season. On deck is Jacob Bernardi. First pitch to him is low and away for ball, 1-0 the count. Here's the 1-0 offering from Gerardo Ramirez, swung and fouled down the right field line, and it's 1-1. Gerardo Ramirez has been going the whole way for the Buccaneers. He has 5 strikeouts in 5 2/3 innings. Fastball called a strike, and it's 1-2. Harlick really didn't like that call as he kind of shook his head. He's going to have to live with it because obviously what the home plate umpire says goes. Here's the pitch. Fastball low, ball 2, 2-2 the count. Well, this was certainly completely unexpected. I mean, the Bucs had been playing a lot better, but for them to come out here and really take it to the Pirates the way they have was very surprising. Swung on and it's foul down the third base line. Of course, Casares is now at third. He moved from second to third after Bryce Brooks got injured on a bunt. Looked like he hurt his hand. Michael Smith came in to replace him in the spot in the lineup and is at second base. This one's chopped down the third base line and also foul. Well, you're at the 8th spot in the lineup right now, but that doesn't, you can kind of just throw that out of the window because every single player who started this game has now been taken out. So even though you're in the 8th spot of the lineup, it's just a spot in the lineup, really, as this one misses high for a ball to Harlech. Another foul ball down the third base line, so good at bat here so far for Garlick, who has fouled off a lot of pitches, protecting the plate. And this is what we were talking about a couple innings ago. Really, you got to just kind of try to wear down this pitcher, Gerardo Ramirez, and get to the next guy and see if you can do damage against him. This one's swung, and it's a ground ball over to the shortstop, Riley. He fields deep in the hole, and actually the foot comes off the bag. So he beats it out and reaches first base there. And here comes Jacob Bernardi. So we go from a future Cal Poly member to a current Cal Poly member. Jacob wearing number 14. He's 0 for 1, flew out to center field. And his only at-bat back in the 5th inning. That was actually the last inning. In that last inning, the Pirates actually had a chance with the bases loaded, but couldn't come through. Actually, that was 2 innings ago in the 4th when they had that chance. Gerardo Ramirez fires a fastball inside for a ball. Coming into today, 19 innings, 14 strikeouts. And he only had a 4.74 ERA. Obviously, that is falling here today with this performance. Called a strike on a fastball. And it's 2-1. 2-1 swung. It sounded like it might have been a cracked bat. It's over towards Rudy Casares, the third baseman. Throw off again. So the second consecutive error. And now there's 2 men in scoring position as Bernardi will get all the way to second. And Garlick advances to third. Now you have Greg Espinosa at the plate. Well, we talked about it, and it's been something that's sort of plagued them earlier in the season, the Bucs, in the sense that you're giving up errors and you're giving up extra outs to good teams like the Pirates, and you really can't afford to do that. But in this situation, it's almost like you feel like they can. It's 9-2. They're up by 7 runs. It would take a whole lot of errors to potentially blow this game if you're the Buccaneers. So George Ortega is on deck, so it looks like the replacement is official. We thought that maybe he was just coming in the field for a few outs, but I guess Ortega is going to replace Padlo at second base for the rest of the game. Got to ask Ortega when the last time he played second was. Fastball high for a ball. Greg Espinosa is 1 for 1 with a single and a run scored back in the 5th inning. For the Buccaneers, you don't really need to stress right here. You still have 2 outs. You just need to make the play to first base. Although it's been something that they haven't been able to do against the last 2 hitters, as this one is fouled out of play behind home plate towards the first base side. Ramirez working out of the windup. Here's the pitch. Breaking pitch swung on, and it's a ground ball over to the second baseman, Michael Smith. And he throws it to first to finish the inning. So at the end of 5.5 innings of play, the score remains 9-2. Buccaneers on top of the Pirates. Welcome back. To the bottom of 6 we go. Here comes Rudy Casares. Brett Early still on the mound for the Pirates. First pitch, and therefore strike 1, and it's 0-1 to Casares. Casares is 1 for 2. Flew out to center field in the first inning. Singled and had an RBI in the second at-bat that he had. And here he has another hit down the right field line. No, just foul. No, that was fair. So that is his second hit of the day down the right field line, so he's now 2 for 3. Scored a couple runs and had the RBI. It's hard to see because there's actually shade down the right field line now from the adjacent dormitories. Here's a pitch, and this one misses high for ball 1 to Michael Smith. Michael Smith inherited a weird count. He inherited a 1-2 count when Bryce Brooks was trying to bunt, and the ball hit his hand. He ended up getting hit by a pitch in the head, as this one's called a strike. Smith is the youngest of 5 siblings. So I asked him, does that mean that you're scrappy? And he said, absolutely. His 4 older siblings all playing collegiate athletics. Swings at this one and chops it over the head of Johnny Reynoso for a base hit into left field. And so 2 consecutive hits here in the bottom of the 6th inning for the Buccaneers. And here comes Jack Spawn. Jack Spawn with the grand slam. Back in the 3rd inning. 6'2", 195, right-handed hitter from Point Loma Nazarene. Hometown, Claremont. Went to Damien High School. Early checks the runner at second, comes home. And this one misses outside for a ball. 1-0 the count. Spawn fouls this one off behind home plate, and it's 1-1. I'm kind of just trying to look in the dugout to kind of get the sense of what they're thinking, and they look like they're in good spirits, actually, and they don't look like they're really thinking too hard about this. But this was something that was quite unexpected for the Pirates. This one swung on, a towering fly ball to deep center field, but Nolan Henley has it under control and makes the catch there for the first out. Nobody is able to advance on the play. As Henley hit Espinosa, the cutoff man, right in the chest, like you're supposed to. Here's Anthony Rubito. Rubito is 2 for 3 with 1 RBI. First pitch to him is called a strike, 0-1 the count. 2 men still on base with 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. 9-2, the Buccaneers lead. Well, he said the Buccaneers had to basically win out to maybe finish in 3rd. It looks like today, as this is called strike 2, it looks like today they might win. And it would be hard to blow this game. So that gets them 3 in league. And they still have 2 more against the Power and 2 against the Heat. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Down goes Rubito. So it's not going to be easy, but there's still a chance, especially if you look at who Team San Diego has left to play. Team San Diego still has to play Pirates twice and the Power 3 times. First pitch swung on and missed by Tanner Thibodeau in the dirt, and it's 0-1. Thibodeau had a sac fly for an RBI back in the 4th inning, struck out in the 3rd, and reached on a fielder's choice in the 2nd. Here's the pitch. Fastball outside for a ball from early. This has been a really long game, too, by the way. And normally when you score 9 runs, it tends to go a little bit long, but just the game in general has moved very slowly. This is swung on, towering fly ball to left field, slicing, and it gets all the way back to the wall for a hit. Here comes Casares in the score. Now there's going to be a play at the plate, and they did not get Michael Smith at the plate. That is a 2-run triple by Tanner Thibodeau. And 2 more runs are scored here as the Bucs are really putting it on the Pirates. 11-2 the score. bottom of the 6th inning. And here is Richie Chavez. So Richie Chavez comes in to replace Miles Ryan. This is the first replacement we've seen for the Buccaneers, and he lines one into right field, and that is going to be caught out there by the right fielder Harley for the final out of the inning. But that was really well struck by Chavez, even though it's an out. The Bucs get 2 more runs, and they lead 11-2 at the end of 6. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. So Gerardo Ramirez's day comes to an end, but it was a very, very good day for him. 6 innings, 5 strikeouts, 2 runs. And in comes Eric Trask, the right-handed pitcher, 6'0", 170 pounds, plays for Cal Poly Pomona. And the first pitch he throws hits George Ortega in the left arm. So the leadoff man is on board here for the Pirates in the form of Ortega as Morabito comes to the plate. Morabito is, well, in his only plate appearance, he walked. He was part of the 5th inning where we saw pretty much everybody, and actually, yes, we did see everybody in the original starting lineup replaced by Charlie Reynoso, who was clearly unhappy with the way that things went here. This one misses outside for ball 1, 1-0 the count. To Morabito, Eric Trask, redshirt sophomore. His redshirt freshman year. This one on the knees called a strike. He was actually basically like a assistant coach. He was a student coach in 2013. His major is kinesiology and aspires to work in accounting. This one swung and lined straight back at Casares, and Casares doubles off Ortega. So a nice play made there by the third baseman, usually a middle infielder. And that is the second out here in the top of the 7th inning with Bryce Cherry at the plate. He is 1 for 1 with an RBI single in the 5th inning in his only at-bat. Here's the pitch from the sidearm throwing Trask, and it misses low and inside for ball, 1-0 the count. Trask is from Arcadia, went to Arcadia High School. He was the MVP of his team there and was an all-league performer twice. Favorite team is the Dodgers, and his favorite player, Hanley Ramirez. Swung on, and it's a little roller over to the right side, and Michael Smith has it. And throws to Spawn, and that will do it for the side here in the top of the 7th inning. And it's time to stretch here at Cal Poly Pomona. 11-2 the score. Buccaneers leading the Pirates. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. 11-2 the score. Buccaneers on top of the Pirates. We are heading to the bottom of the 7th inning. Conlon McKenzie is the new pitcher for Inland Valley. And the first pitch he throws is low for ball 1. 1-0 the count to Diego Cortez. Cortez 0 for 3. Did reach on an error by the right fielder Michael Johnson back in the 4th inning. Swings at this one and lines it into deep center field for a base hit. So that's his first hit of the day. Here comes Anthony Seminaris. So Anthony Seminaris now in for Kevin Riley. Seminaris has had a tough past couple games, really hitting the ball well, but just hitting it at people. Also had one play that he beat out, but the umpire called him out at first base. McKenzie working out of the stretch, fires. First pitch in there for strike 1 to Seminaris, 0-1 the count. Colin McKenzie is 6'2", 240, plays for Citrus College. As a freshman, he made 17 appearances, a 3.86 ERA, 31 strikeouts in 25 and 2/3 innings pitched. Fouled by Seminaris. So that'll be strike 2. Conlon is from Walnut and went to Walnut High School and is a film major. Meanwhile, Anthony Seminaris, 5'10", 175, the right-handed hitter from Fullerton College, where he will be a redshirt freshman. Here's the pitch. Fastball misses high for a ball. Seminoris' hometown is Chino Hills and went to Iola High School, where he was an All-CIF selection, and hit .457 as a senior. Runner off with the pitch, and this one is swung on, and it's foul. And actually, we have Jordan Sheffs playing third base here. So Jordan Sheffs is in for Johnny Reynoso now at third base, which is pretty interesting, as we have a pitcher playing third now. Not quite sure what happened to Johnny or why he was removed from the game. Line drive right at Kevin Bowler, as pretty much everybody was saying, oh, both the Bucs dugout and the Pirates dugout. Well, for the Pirates, this is obviously a huge setback. For the Bucs, this is a huge kind of spring of life, as this one misses upstairs for a ball to Seminares. And for the Bucs, they play again tomorrow, and then they're off until Sunday. They'll play here at 5 o'clock tomorrow. The game was moved from Long Beach City College to here, as this one is foul, and this one is directly back. And for a second, I thought that was going to go through my tent and hit me in the head, but it just missed and made its way into the first row of the bleachers here. And this game has been, seems like it's been going on forever. It is 7:20 right now, so obviously it's been going on for 2 hours and 20 minutes. Still the bottom of the seventh inning. And you have to wonder if we're even going to go the full 9. Although the way the Pirates hit in the last inning, this one hits Seminares in the left wrist. Actually, it looks like the umpire might say that the ball hit the bat, because it looked like he was saying for Seminares to stay in the batter's box. But I could be wrong. As I think he said he wasn't hit, and Kevin Bowler is showing the home plate umpire the red mark on Seminares' left wrist, but the umpire shakes his head. So I guess Anthony's going to have to stay up at bat here. Conlon McKenzie checks the runner at first. That's Diego Cortez. Swung and missed by Seminares, and he is struck out here by McKenzie. So that's the first out in the bottom of the seventh inning. And up comes Johnny Juarez. Juarez reaching on a fielder's choice in the first, singling and scoring in the third, reaching on an error and scoring in the fourth, and struck out in the fifth. Fastball swung on and fouled straight back at the screen, and it's 0-1 to Johnny Juarez. Well, it's good to see Bryce Brooks back in the dugout. He's smiling, so hopefully his right hand is okay, whatever happened to it on that bunt where his hand was hit. Breaking pitch in the dirt for a ball. For the Pirates, if you're thinking about it as a Pirate fan, they're going to have to rebound very quickly, because they have a doubleheader in league against the High Desert Heat on Wednesday. This one swung on, lifted out into right field, slicing foul, and out of play. Meanwhile, for the Bucs, this is really a good way to sort of end that long streak of games, although they still have one more tomorrow. But they feel like with this one, this is the one that they kind of had circled on their schedule. They wanted this win against the Pirates, and they have gotten it. And meanwhile, they still have one more that's probably circled on their calendars, and that is next Tuesday and Wednesday against the Power. Fly ball down the first base line, foul and out of play, as Alec Morabito and Nolan Henley, the first baseman and right fielder, were chasing it over towards the netting out there in right field. (11 to the score. Buccaneers on top of the Pirates. Bottom of the seventh inning. Swung on and missed by Juarez, and down he goes. So that's the second consecutive strikeout for Colin McKenzie after giving up a leadoff single to Diego Cortez up over to center field. Here comes Rudy Casares. Rudy Casares is 2 for 3, 3 runs scored, and 1 RBI. Pitches in the dirt, 59-footer. Nice job by Lowenstein to block that ball and ensure that it didn't get to the backstop, and Cortez advanced 90 feet in the scoring position. Gotta wonder what the Pirates dugout and bench is thinking, as this is called a strike here. After being able to beat this team 6 times and then today really taking one on the chin, I mean, trailing by 9 runs in the 7th inning to a team that you beat in 6 previous times. Very, very surprising, as this off-speed pitch is called a strike, and that is now strike 2. And I mean, it's, you just look at the field and you have George Ortega at second base right now. You have Chefs at third base. You have a pitcher playing in at third base right now. Swung on and foul back at the screen. And that one is stuck in the fence. It never came down. So I looked up, and yes, indeed, it is stuck in the fence, as the home plate umpire was actually looking for the ball around backstop. Two-strike pitch, misses high and away for a ball. On deck is Michael Smith, and Jack Spahn would be the next spot in the lineup, should we get that far. Breaking pitch inside, called strike 3, and down goes Casares. So Colin McKenzie strikes out the side after giving up a leadoff single. And that'll do it for the bottom of the 7th inning. Score remains 11-2. Pirates trailing the Buccaneers. And we will head to the top of the 8th. Bucs on top, 11-2 over the Pirates. As we head to the top of the 8th inning, Dave Sobera on the play-by-play. So glad you joined us for this SCCBL matchup featuring the Pirates and Bucs. This is the final time they will meet. And it looks like the Bucs will get the last laugh and sink the Pirates ship here in the final game, as Nolan Henley is at the plate and takes inside for ball 1. 1-0 count to him. 0 for 1 on the day is Henley, and this is called a strike, and it's 1-1. Henley hit a line drive to left field, hit it very hard, and a nice leaping grab was made out there by Ryan. Otherwise, it would have scored a couple runs, as this pitch comes inside for a strike, and it's 1-2. On deck, Lowenstein. In the hole is Chefs. Here's the pitch, and this one misses high, and it's 2-2. 2-2 pitch comes inside, and it's called a strike. So down goes Henley on strikes. And here comes Dylan Lowenstein. Sidearm throw from Trask. Misses inside. 1-0 the count. Here's the 1-0 offering, and this one is chopped down the right side over to the first baseman Acosta. And Acosta will step on the bag for the 3 unassisted putout. And now we're going to have Jordan Sheffs in for his first at-bat of the season. Swings at the first pitch he sees and fouls it back at the backstop. Well, we didn't figure to see any of the pitchers hitting in a league matchup, but that's how far out of hand this one has gotten for the Pirates. They trail 11-2 to the Buccaneers. This one swung and foul back. Well, he's made contact with both pitches, fouling the first one and then fouling the second one behind home plate, and it's 0-2 to Jordan Sheffs. On deck is Kyle Garlick, the center fielder. Here's the pitch. And this one is cracked down the left field line. Just foul. That was really the first sign of life the Pirates showed all day, as the pitcher comes in and cranks one, but just foul down the left field line. He's smiling about that one. He knew he hit it well. Eric Trask will work over the ball. Knows it's just a long strike and knows he's still up on the count here against Sheffs. And Sheffs has really pretty much swung at every single pitch. So if I was Trask, I might try to throw one out of the zone here. But this one is outside, so he did try to go out of the zone. (11-2) the score. Top of the 8th inning. Buccaneers on top of the Pirates. Here's the pitch from Trask. Swung on, and this is a fly ball to shallow left field, and that'll get down for a bloop base hit. And the entire dugout is happy, I guess, that Sheffs gets a hit there. So he's batting 1,000 on the season. Up comes Kyle Garlick. Kyle Garlick reached on the error by the third baseman in his only plate appearance of the season. Meanwhile, Bernardi is on deck. This one swung and fouled back and out of play behind home plate, and it's 0-1. Field starting to be completely encompassed by shade. Pretty much the only spot not in shade is left field, where Richie Chavez is covering his eyes with his right glove hand to kind of shade himself from the sun. Swung on and foul. And Kyle can only shake his head in disapproval after he must have thought that that was a good pitch to hit. This pitch misses low and away for a ball from Trask. Another good job at the plate. A lot of discipline at the plate does Kyle Garlick have, number 30 today. Being told that he will be number 44 when he gets his uniform. Here's the pitch. Swings at this one and lines it straight back up the middle for a base hit. So 2 consecutive hits here after the first 2 hitters were retired by Trask. It was Henley who struck out looking, and then it was Lowenstein who grounded out to the first baseman before Sheffs came in and had the bloop hit to left field. And Garlick line driving one right up the middle. Here's Jacob Bernardi. Bernardi 0 for 2. Flew out to center field and reached on an error in his second at-bat. Takes strike one at the knees, and it's 0-1. This one misses low for ball one, 1-1 the count. Well, this would be for the Pirates. They're just looking for a two-out rally to maybe make the game more respectable, the final score. It would be very, very improbable to come back with 9 runs here. But you don't want to see an 11-2. This one swung on and fouled, and it's 1-2 to Bernardi. On deck, Greg Espinosa. Here's the pitch. Swung on and chopped to the left side over to the shortstop, Seminaris. Seminaris fires the first, not in time. And so that is going to be an infield hit. And the third consecutive base hit for the Pirates, who continue to move station to station, as now Greg Espinosa comes to the plate. Espinosa 1 for 2, singled and scored in the 5th, and grounded out to the second baseman in the 6th inning. Trask comes set at the waist, fires. Fastball in there for strike one, 0-1 the count to Greg Espinosa. Second pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike two. It was an off-speed pitch that Espinosa was well out in front of. Pirates hoping to take advantage of the bases loaded and 2 outs here in the top of the 8th inning. And as we mentioned before, just maybe get a couple runs and make this a closer game, as this one's fouled back at the screen. And we'll have yet another 2-strike pitch for Espinosa to protect on. Race Brooks actually picked up the foul ball and threw it back into Johnny Juarez, left-handed. Mentioned he, of course, hurt his right hand earlier in the game. So obviously still not feeling good there, as this breaking pitch misses low for a ball. The third base dugout of the Bucs was hoping that it would be called a strike. Very vocal after that pitch. Here comes the next pitch, and it's swung and fouled out of play. So Greg Espinosa continues to fight at the plate. Not willing to give in to Trask. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. Fastball blew him away. And down goes Espinosa. And that'll do it for the top half of the 8th inning. And we are through 7.5, and the score remains 11-2. Buccaneers on top of the Pirates. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. Head to the bottom of the 8th inning as the first pitch misses low for ball one from Conlon McKenzie to Michael Smith. 11-2 the score. Bucs on top of the Pirates. First pitch swung at over towards Jordan Sheff at the hot corner. Fires across the diamond and makes the play for the first out here. So 5-3 on that putout. I guess they decided that Sheffs came and made the trip today, and so they wanted to at least get him some playing time, and they didn't want to waste his arm on the mound because they have another conference game on Wednesday. Breaking pitch in the dirt for ball one to Nathaniel Acosta. Nathaniel Acosta came in to replace Jack Spahn back in the last inning. And this one misses low for a ball. Also, Luke Asperger will bat next. Here's a pitch, swung and missed for a strike. Nathaniel Acosta from the University of Redlands. Called strike 2. He's a guy that can both hit and pitch. And he's a guy that's really been working more on his pitching this summer. He did pretty well hitting at the University of Redlands. Hit .295, 401 on base percentage, 8 home runs. So a lot of pop behind that bat for a 6'2", 225-pounder who takes inside for ball 4 and draws a walk there. And now here comes Luke Asperger for his first at-bat of the day. Luke Asperger from Stanford University hit .276 on their club team. Hometown, Pasadena, went to Polytechnic High School. First team all-CIF selection and won a CIF championship, as this one misses high for a ball and is 1-0. Not sure if Tanner Thibodeau is still on deck, so he will remain in the game. I was wondering if somebody else was going to maybe pinch hit for him. Called strike, because he took a while to come out to the batter's box, or to the on-deck circle, but he's out there now, getting ready to face Conlon McKenzie. Here's the pitch to Asperger, though, and it's a breaking pitch called strike 2. 1 down, bottom of the 8th inning. 9-run game. Bucks on top of the Pirates. Here's the pitch. Swung and fouled. Out of play down the right field line. Talk about the shade, and the field is entirely in shade now, as the sun is beginning to set here at 7:43 Pacific time. I was actually a little bit surprised they even played the bottom of the 8th, and was thinking maybe they might just call it there, because the light is fading fast, but obviously playing the bottom of the 8th, you figure that they're going to play a top of the 9th in the next inning. Here's the pitch. Fouled by Asperger. The only reason I say that is because we had a game finish at around 7-ish when the Pirates played the Dodgers earlier in the season. Well, the Dodgers kind of didn't want to play or finish that game. There was clearly still daylight at that point. Fastball swung and fouled back at the screen by Luke Asperger, who continues to fight here. Long at bat for number 4, going against number 33 on the mound. Asperger hit .443 as a senior in high school and had 9 home runs for Polytechnic High School. An integral part of that CIF championship team. He takes high for ball 4 and draws the walk. So there are now 2 men on base, both reaching on a walk. And up comes Tanner Thibodeau. Thibodeau with the 2-run triple to left field in his last at-bat. Also had a sac fly for an RBI. We talked about it. He's starting to really see the ball a bit better. Really starting to look like the player that he looked like on the first day of the season. First pitch, though, foul tipped, and that's strike 1, 0-1 the count. After the first day, we saw Thibodeau and the way he played in that first day in the doubleheader against the Pirates, and everybody thought he was going to be one of their top hitters, but struggled a lot up until about the last few days. He, of course, is rehabbing an injury to his wrist, which is why he's actually out in Southern California, staying with his grandparents. Here's the pitch. Fastball paints the black on the outside corner, called a strike. On deck is Richie Chavez. and then Diego Cortez will be up after him. Here's the pitch from McKenzie. Fastball outside for a ball. Figure that McKenzie's probably going to finish this game, but he's really starting to lose control rapidly. Walking the previous two hitters, and now falling a bit behind on Thibodeau. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike three. Down goes Thibodeau. So Thibodeau retired here for the second out of the bottom of the eighth inning. And up comes Richie Chavez. Chavez is 0 for 1. Flew out to the right fielder. He, of course, replaced Miles Ryan in the lineup. This is the top of the lineup, the number 1 spot for the Buccaneers. Fastball called strike, 0-1 the count. Conlon McKenzie, ever since he's come in, has struck out a bunch of guys. He struck out the side in the 7th, struck out 1 here in the 8th. This one misses. Low snap throw down to first, not in time. Struck out 1 in the 6th. Swung on and missed by Chavez. Well, it's really interesting that, kind of looking back on it, that really Ryan Romero started and went just 1 inning, and 1 run was scored on him in that first inning, but it was an unearned run. It came in on an error, and then in came Jack Johnson, who Johnson is usually a very, very good pitcher, but he just got lit up in the 3rd inning. Ground ball to the right side over towards George Ortega. Ortega throws it to Morabito for the final out of the 8th inning. So Chavez is retired. And at the end of 8, it remains 11-2. Buccaneers on top of the Pirates. And we head to the top of the 9th inning, an 11-2 ball game. Bucks on top of the Pirates. Eric Trask set to shut the door for the Buccaneers. First pitch is called a strike on the outside corner, 0-1 the count to George Ortega. George Ortega from Lewis and Clark State, where he won an NAIA World Series. Swings at this one and fouls it over towards the first base dugout. And it's 0-2 for Ortega. Ortega was an all-conference performer at Rio Hondo before going to Lewis and Clark State. Of course, Ortega and Bryce Brooks, teammates there at Rio Hondo. This is a towering fly ball, but it's in the infield, and Anthony Seminaris will call for it and make the catch. I don't know if it's just because it's so hot during the beginning of the game, but as the sun starts to go down, it gets a lot cooler here in Pomona. Bucks down to their final 2 outs. Alec Morabito is at the plate, and Bryce Cherry is on deck. And then, should one man get on, Nolan Henley is in the hole. Swung on and missed, 0-1, the count. And this one's on the inside, 0-2 now, as this one's called a strike to Morabito. Morabito looked like he didn't quite like the call, kind of shaking his head and then readjusting his gloves as he steps back into the batter's box. This pitch, though, is low, and it's 1-2. Well, for the Buccaneers, they're going to improve to 6-15 and 3-9 in league. Meanwhile, the Pirates are going to fall to 17-5 and 8-4 in league. The Bucks got 1 in the first. Pirates tied it at 1 apiece in the 3rd. But then the Bucks scored 6 in the bottom of the 3rd to take a 7-1 lead. Tacked on 2 more in the 4th and made it 9-1. Pirates got one back in the 5th to make it 9-2. And the Bucs 2 more in the 6th. And that's where we stand. 11-2 the score, top of the 9th, 1 out. Swung on and missed, strike 3, so now 2 outs as down goes Morabito. And here comes Bryce Cherry. Cherry 1 for 2. RBI single in the 5th and grounded out in the 7th to the second baseman. First pitch misses low for ball 1 to Bryce Cherry, the San Francisco State Gator. This one's in at the knees, called a strike, and it's 1-1. Well, for the Bucs, you got to say that this might be a season maker almost for them. Ground ball to the right side, and that's right at Michael Smith, who will throw out Bryce Cherry, and that's the final out of the inning and the final out of the game. And the Bucs, they win for the first time in 7 tries against the Pirates, and we'll have high fives at the mound as teams will congratulate each other and shake hands after playing each other 7 times. This is the latest inning I think we've had so far at 7:54. As the Bucs do get the win, and as we were saying in that last inning, they are now 3-9 in the league. They are actually 6-15 overall. Pirates 17-5 and 8-4 in the league. The Bucs will take on the Legends tomorrow here at 5 o'clock. That'll be our next broadcast, and then the Pirates we'll have a doubleheader on Wednesday starting at 2 o'clock against the High Desert Heat. So they'll have the first game at 2 against the Heat and the second game at 5. And then both teams off for a number of days. Buccaneers won't play again until Sunday after this Tuesday. The Pirates are off for a long time because they had a game originally scheduled for Monday the 7th, and that game is now been moved to the Wednesday doubleheader. So the Pirates off for a long time after Wednesday, as both teams will go into their huddles right now and kind of talk things over after today. And the final score, just a reminder, was the Buccaneers 11 and the Pirates 2. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you again tomorrow for the Buccaneers versus the Legends.